All right, so I have this giant box here, and you see it has the Lenovo signage there. So yeah, let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what's inside. The box is huge. All right, let's take this out. You got a lot of information on the side here. Lenovo Legion Go. Just some information. It's 8.8 inch QHD display, so it's LCD display. It has, you know, kind of like a Switch Joy-Con setup where you can detach the controller. So, and it has SD card, 49.2 watt hour battery. So it's not going to be crazy big in terms of the battery size, right? I think at the time when it came out, it was pretty good, but nowadays, you know, with the Ally X having 80 watt battery, it's kind of like making this seem small now. And then the Steam Deck OLED is 50 watts, so basically the same as this. So you might be wondering, why would you get this over the Steam Deck OLED, for example? I have a Steam Deck LCD when it first came out, but the Steam Deck OLED for this same size storage, 512 gigs here, it's $549, so it's $50 more expensive than the Legion Go at this point. But previously, it's like, before this price drop, you're thinking, why should I get this for like $700 or $600 whenever it was on sale? You know, so you have to think about those things. And so I'm going to find out my first impressions and see if it's worth it. That's why I picked up this thing from Best Buy. So you get this kind of setup, which is similar to the Steam Deck, if I remember correctly, kind of came with this little sleeve cover, which is pretty nice. Nice packaging for sure. And it comes with a carrying case, which the Ally X does not come with one. So this is really nice. It also comes with a charge port, which is super nice and handy if you want to use this for charging the device while it's inside. That's pretty cool. Now let's put this off to the side real quick just to see what's inside here. What else? You know, little services that they're trying to sell you. Don't know how that's gonna go at this point, since it seems like it hasn't been selling well, which is why they dropped the price. It does come with a charger, which I'm probably not going to use because this one's like attached. I don't think I can remove the cord, and it looks like the cord's kind of like not generic or like, you know, very specific. Good quality. Look at this, is actually pretty good. There's a lot of protection there, and there's a space here. I don't know what you want to use it for, but I guess you could put the charger there, maybe. Enough space, but you get this cloth. It's kind of like a cleaning cloth-ish, but not microfiber feeling. Or maybe it is, but it's like really thin. But yeah, so you get that. Here's the device itself. You get this other thing. This is to, when you take out the controllers, you can stick it in there. It's kind of nice that it's just like placed in here. It's pretty nice, actually. I was thinking it was going to be like lower quality because the plastic looked pretty bad online from what I've seen in the videos, but holding it in hand for the first time, like, it feels pretty good. Like, ergonomics though is, I can tell off the bat, like, people probably complain about the ergonomics, and I can see why. These corners are rounded, but you see they don't have much like curvature here because it's completely flat here. So you'll probably see some grips online that, you know, enhance the grip here to kind of give it a more of a 3D curvature here, because right now, like, hopefully the camera can get it, but you see it's completely flat there. There's no kind of curve at all. It does curve here, of course, right, for the back. So the back side of it feels pretty good, but yeah, so far, just, you know, first impression though, like, the quality is pretty good. Like, the plastic feels pretty good overall, especially like these. I was worried about these being like really crappy quality, like Joy-Cons or something, and to break, especially with the, you know, ability to detach these things. So I don't plan to use it like that quite often, to be honest. So you know, it's nice that they have it here, but I don't know if I'll be using it, to be quite honest. With all these extra buttons and stuff like that, it's kind of nice actually, but the buttons are like pretty well placed. Like, they're not here, so it's kind of hard to get to, but they're right on the grips, which is just easy to kind of just press, because you know they're also made to be, you know, used to just use individually. So you know, kind of have to have these buttons next to them. But anyways, so you got your fan exhaust in the back. You got this nice built-in stand, which is awesome. It's like a switch basically. It's like, this is like a PC switch, if you will. And actually the amount it can go is actually pretty wide. Look at that. You can go pretty wide, like almost 90 degrees pretty much, and it's really stiff. So I do like that. Man, I'm really surprised. The buttons, volume buttons, USB-C, SD card. Don't know if it has battery. I'm trying to turn it on, but you got your volume up and down. It's kind of a glossy button. It's okay. I do like that it's individualized. Looks like the sound is also up here too. Exhaust fan right there, and then of course 3.5mm headphone jack. You got your power button. All right, so there we go. You got it plugged in. You do have to use the original charger, or at least a charger that has enough power, but I couldn't find one kind of in short notice. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan that they didn't pre-charge the device. Maybe they did, or maybe it just requires you to plug it in for the first time. But it is powering on. You do have the joysticks, which are Hall effect sensors, which is really nice. This is probably one of the mainstream devices that has Hall effect sensors built in. So that's really awesome. You know, other devices like AYN or like Retroid, they do have Hall effect sensors, but they're mostly doing, you know, ARM platform devices. This is a x86 platform, which is what I prefer because you can play more games on it. But Android devices, ARM platform, it's kind of annoying to kind of get games to play on there, especially like games from Steam, which I have a ton of games from. So it is turning on. You're presented with Windows 11. So we're gonna set this up. I'll be back, and yeah, I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, so I'm back. I set up the Legion Go with the actual bazzite install. I went through a setup guide provided by their website, and so it was pretty easy. Just have to basically flash their ISO file and then configure it. So basically it's pretty easy. You just have to partition the drive on the Legion Go, and then once you do that, you can just flash it. Pretty easy, pretty much straightforward to install everything and get it set up, and you have pretty much a Steam Deck like setup here. And yeah, I mean, so far I played it for a little bit, maybe like half an hour after I set it up, and so far it's so good. No issues so far. Now, and I wanted to give you guys kind of like little quirks, things that I noticed that are slightly different from a full-on, you know, Steam Deck install versus like something like this. So one of the biggest things I noticed just right off the bat with the Steam Deck compared to this, right, is that, well, you know, it's not perfect, right? So I'm gonna turn on the Steam Deck, and see right away I can just access, you know, all the buttons. Like, it's seamless, right? Super easy, super smooth, pretty fast, right? Okay, so what I wanted to show you guys though was, for example, the biggest thing I noticed was when I power off the device, right? So it's cool. Okay, it's on sleep mode now. You see that the button, the power button there, it's turning on and off, indicating that it's on sleep. If I turn it back on, so it comes on, but you see I can't. Takes like a second, right? Like 5 seconds for it to recognize everything and then connect back to the network and all of that stuff. So, you know, it takes a second for it to do so. And so that's one of the major things I noticed, is that yes, it can go to suspend mode and sleep, but when you do that, right, and you come back on, it doesn't have the instant on that sort of the Steam Deck has, right? Like right now I can just go all over the place, right? Wherever I need to go, just access that. So, you know, that's one of the biggest difference as far as like installing this custom software. And so, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say with this device is, you know, I knew that this is going to be more of a tinker's device because of these little quirks that I noticed. Another quirk is with the software is that the adaptive brightness doesn't work. So you kind of have to manually change the settings here. So yeah, you go to display. You see that enable adaptive brightness is grayed out. So you can't actually turn it on, for example, here. So, that's a bummer, because that's more of a, software hardware interaction. They probably aren't able to control the driver that's controlling the display output for that. You do get that mouse input here still, so you can see that the mouse does show up. It kind of acts basically as a mouse hover, which is nice. Kind of nice if you want to have a, targeted touch for something. You want to go here, you can do that, and then go back. So that's quite nice. You can launch Windows from here. So if I launch it right now, I'll just show you guys. It does turn off, and then it's going to reboot, and it's going to reboot into Windows. And then I'll leave that here. But the Steam Deck and the Legion Go are almost 1-to-1 in size. The Legion Go is a little bit taller because of the 16:10 aspect ratio, but just a little bit wider. You can check out the specs online, or like the actual dimensions, but yeah. But here, seeing it in person, yeah, I can definitely tell like it's similar experience. And actually, in terms of ergonomics, I think that's probably the other thing that some of you guys may be wondering, like, how's the ergonomics on these grips on the Legion Go versus the Steam Deck. So right off the bat, I'll just tell you that the Steam Deck has the best ergonomics of any handheld I've held. Better than Odin 2, better than Retroids. They really spent a lot of time designing the grips really well. Now I do have larger than average hands, so I think that plays into it. It really does help. So if you have smaller hands, it's maybe an issue just because like how deep these ridges go, and and all of that. But I think it's a really well designed handheld. These corners, right, are really soft. They have a nice texture to it, to the plastic shell. It feels really premium, just in general. And then we compare that to the Legion Go, right? It's good. It's actually great for like larger hands, like myself. Like my hands are a little bit larger than average, but you see these grips are freaking massive. And these buttons, they actually don't get in the way, which is good. I was worried about that when I was looking at pictures online. And then at the bottom here, you see that they have the buttons. These unlock the sticks. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, they're the Legion Go sticks, I guess. One of the things I wanted to point out from the Steam Deck is like, you see that when they designed this portion here, right, it's more of a traditional controller layout, like where this is kind of like, it's not flat, right? You can see that it slopes downward and has a kind of 3D scope slope to kind of fit with your hand and fits more ergonomically. Just fits in real nicely. This nice like steep groove here, and it's gradual, right? Versus the Legion Go doesn't have any of that. It literally is just like, hey, flat, flat. I mean, this is curved a little bit, but it's basically flat here and down, almost downward. Versus the Steam Deck, it kind of like, doesn't really do that, right? It kind of takes into that consideration, and it kind of grooves down slowly. So if they did that with the Legion Go, I think it would have been a better experience. So the reason why they didn't do that is because, well, they have this crazy feature where you can just detach your stick, and then now it's gonna try to pair, right? So now it's paired back with my device. So it does that automatically. I think these controllers themselves, they each have batteries in them. It's like 900 milliamps or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you can just play it on the go. I think they sell like a little adapter. You can just put it together, kind of like a Joy-Con. Do something similar, and that's pretty nice. It's nice that you don't need a controller. You can just dock this up, or you can put it somewhere and just play it. You don't need a controller to play. You don't have to hold it, right? You can just do this, play it like exactly like a Switch, right? But except that it's a PC handheld, and can play powerful games and whatnot. But I think that's one of the reasons why they couldn't really design it to be more ergonomic, and they kind of had to go with this sort of quote unquote compromise design, but it's more of just that it has to, do a lot of different things. And so this is one of those things that it had to do, which is to, be able to kind of transform itself. So you'll see this kind of similar issue with the Switch, right? The Switch also kind of had a really bad controller design in terms of ergonomics. So yeah, one of the things I wanted to point out was that this thing has a freaking laser at the bottom, right, to read your mouse input if you want to do FPS mode, and you can set it up and use the mouse to play like this, and you're like, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of crazy, to be honest, and you're using the mouse 1 and mouse 2 to play like this. It's, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if I'll be using that very often, if at all. I think it's nice, like, niche feature, but I don't think it's something for me. And you might ask, okay, why did you get this device? Well, one, it's $500, so it's like, $150 off of their previous sell, which was $650. And then normally this thing is what, $700? The 1 terabyte $750, so they had a $50 difference there, but otherwise the specs were the same. So it's like, if you compare it from their previous, their release MSRP of $700, this thing's $200 off. So I don't know. To me, it's like, man, like, should I get this at $500, or do I get, do I get the Ally X, right, for $800? And it doesn't come with a case, doesn't do these extra features, doesn't have an extra trackpad, doesn't actually have Hall effect sensors like these do for the joysticks, which is actually a pretty big deal to me. The screen is much smaller. It's a 7-inch versus like the Steam Deck OLED, which is 7.4, and this is 8.8. It's just freaking huge. And then the screen is really nice. That's the other reason why I wanted to get the Legion Go over, basically keeping the Steam Deck, is because, well, the screen is just miles better on the Legion Go. And I'm sure if you like done some research on the Steam Deck and its iterations, so this is the OG model again, and the screen here sucks. I'm not gonna lie. When it first came out, I was kind of like, all right, like, this is the first of its kind, first to market really, and be okay with it, and then just kind of deal with it. I don't really use the tap functions, like, to tap that often, unless I need to like go into desktop mode and like do stuff, right? But previously, when it first came out, the software for the for the touchscreen was just really bad, just registering points and stuff like that. So right now it's okay because I'm just tapping, but if I'm typing on this thing, it's really bad to type on. Like, I have a really hard time. Usually I have to connect my mouse with it, and that's what usually I have to connect my keyboard to it, so I can actually do that and then do whatever I need to. But yeah, I think the OLED apparently is better, but again, it's one of those things from my perspective that I'm coming from an LCD. I'm like, oh, this thing's just way better. It just types way better. When I was setting it up earlier, it's just easier. But yeah, so that's kind of my impression so far. I did install a 512 SD card here, just to install a bunch of games, because I did have the Windows and the bazzite side split into half, so it's like 512 divided by 2, right? So 256 each-ish, until I get a full 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte SSD. I'm going to install it on this thing. But yeah, but that's it for now. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you guys think it's worth that $500? Let me know what kind of games maybe I should test out for you guys. And yeah, I'll be back with a full review of this thing shortly. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys soon.